I want to take you back to who I was before Islam, before sujud, before the peace, before the tears that healed me. There was a time in my life when I looked normal on the outside. I smiled. I laughed. I talked. I lived like everyone else around me. No one would have guessed that inside I was searching. Desperately searching. I lived in a non-Muslim country. There was no adhan echoing through the streets. No reminders of Allah in daily conversations. No Ramadan atmosphere. No one telling me to pray. No one telling me to reflect. No one telling me that life was more than just surviving. I followed what everyone else followed. I chased what everyone else chased. I wanted approval. I wanted to belong. I wanted to feel seen. I thought happiness meant fitting in. I thought success meant being accepted. I thought freedom meant doing whatever I wanted. But every time I tried to fit in, I felt like I was losing pieces of myself. I laughed in rooms where my heart felt heavy. I agreed with things that didn't sit right in my soul. I stayed silent when my heart had questions. At night when everything became quiet, that's when it hit me. The silence was loud. I would stare at the ceiling and feel something I couldn't explain. It wasn't sadness exactly. It wasn't depression. It was emptiness. A quiet emptiness that whispered, "There's more." I tried to distract myself. Social media. Music. Conversations. Noise. But distractions fade. And when they fade, you're left alone with your thoughts. I had questions no one around me could answer. Why am I here? What happens after death? Is there a purpose? Why do I feel incomplete even when nothing is technically wrong? Sometimes I would look at the sky and feel small, but in a strange way connected. Like something bigger was out there. I just didn't know what. I didn't know Allah yet. But maybe my soul did. I remember moments of guilt without knowing why. Moments where I felt like I wasn't living the way I was meant to live. Moments where I felt pulled towards something pure, but I didn't know what that purity was. I was surrounded by people, but I felt alone. Not physically alone, but spiritually alone. No direction. No anchor. No foundation. I built my identity on what people thought of me. And that's the most unstable foundation you can build on. If people praised me, I felt worthy. If they ignored me, I felt invisible. If they criticized me, I felt shattered. My value depended on others. And that is exhausting. I didn't know peace. I knew temporary happiness. But peace? No, peace is different. Peace stays. Happiness comes and goes. I was tired of chasing moments that disappeared. I was tired of pretending to be okay. I was tired of searching without knowing what I was searching for. Then something changed. It didn't happen overnight. It wasn't dramatic at first. It started small. A video. A conversation. A sentence about Islam that caught my attention. I was curious. That's all. Just curious. I started reading quietly. Secretly. I didn't tell anyone. I looked up what Muslims believe. I expected something extreme. Something harsh. Something restrictive. But what I found shocked me. I found mercy. I found discipline. I found purpose. I found answers to questions I had been carrying for years. When I read about Tawheed, something inside me felt aligned. One God. One Creator. One purpose. It made sense. It was simple yet powerful. I wasn't created by accident. My life wasn't random. My pain wasn't meaningless. There was a Creator who knew me even when I didn't know Him. There was a Lord who saw me in my quietest moments. There was a God who was closer to me than anyone else. And that realization shook me. I remember reading about Salah and thinking how beautiful it is that you can pause your entire day just to reconnect with your Creator. 5 times a day. You realign. You reset. You breathe. You remember who you are. I remember reading Quran translations and feeling like some verses were speaking directly to me. Like Allah knew exactly what I had been feeling. Like He had always known. And maybe He did. That curiosity turned into late-night research. That research turned into reflection. That reflection turned into tears. Not sad tears, but overwhelmed tears. Tears of recognition. Tears of truth. I fought it at first. I was scared. What would people say? How would my family react? Would I lose friends? Would I be judged? Living in a non-Muslim country made it heavier. There was no community waiting for me. No support system ready to hold my hand. It felt like if I chose Islam, I would be choosing it alone. And that scared me. But something inside me kept whispering, "This is the truth." And once you recognize truth, you can't unsee it. I remember the day I said the Shahada. My hands were shaking. My heart was racing. There was no crowd. No celebration. No dramatic moment. Just me. And Allah. I said the words quietly. But inside it felt like the loudest transformation of my life. La ilaha illa Allah. Muhammadur Rasul Allah. In that moment I felt something lift. A weight I didn't know I was carrying disappeared. I wasn't suddenly perfect. I wasn't suddenly fearless. But I was certain. And certainty is powerful. After Islam my life didn't become easy. It became meaningful. There's a difference. I had to learn how to pray. I had to learn how to make wudu. I stumbled over Arabic words. I made mistakes. I felt embarrassed praying alone in my room the first time. But when my forehead touched the ground for the first time in sujud I broke down. I had never bowed to anyone like that before. I had never surrendered like that before. And in that surrender I found strength. Before Islam I was a slave to opinions. After Islam I became a servant of Allah. Before Islam I searched for identity. After Islam I understood who I am. Before Islam I feared people's judgment. After Islam I feared disappointing my creator more than disappointing society. I lost some people. Not everyone understood. Not everyone supported me. Some thought it was a phase. Some thought I was extreme. Some distanced themselves. And yes, it hurt. But what I gained was greater. I gained peace. The kind of peace that stays even when life is chaotic. I gained discipline. I gained purpose. I gained a relationship with Allah that no one can take away from me. Praying alone in a non-Muslim country can feel isolating. There are days I hear no adhan. There are days I pray in silence while the world continues unaware. But there is something beautiful about choosing faith when no one is watching. There is something powerful about loving Allah in a place where it's not popular. It made my faith sincere. It made it personal. It made it real. After Islam I still struggle. I still have hard days. I still feel tested. But now I know who to turn to. Now I know my pain has purpose. Now I know that this dunya is temporary. Before Islam I lived for the moment. After Islam I live for the hereafter. Before Islam I asked, why is this happening to me? After Islam I ask, what is Allah teaching me? The same life. The same country. The same surroundings. But a completely different heart. If you ask me was it worth it? Losing comfort. Losing approval. Feeling alone at times. My answer is yes. 1,000 times yes. Because I may have chosen Islam alone in this world. But I was never truly alone. Allah was always there. He was guiding me even when I didn't realize it. He was calling me even when I wasn't listening. My life before Islam was noise. My life after Islam is clarity. My life before Islam was searching. My life after Islam is knowing. My life before Islam was emptiness. My life after Islam is peace. And if I had to choose again, I would choose Islam. Even if I had to choose it alone.